back around Rosemead now here northbound. We're going to be kind of in the Whittier Narrows area right now. We're not too far away from that. It's extremely dark out here. We've definitely seen some suspects get out and bail from the vehicle, thinking that they can elude the helicopter with the darkness and some of the foliage here in the Whittier Narrows area. Let's see if that's what the suspect is thinking. I mean, we're so far away from where this first began. It just seems pretty dangerous at this point, but speeds still consistently very high.
Well, I just wonder, where this person is going, right? We often see these people go to familiar neighborhoods where they're more comfortable driving, especially at speeds like this. In a familiar area, they might be able to maneuver a little bit better, but we don't know if this person knows this area. That's why they're here. Perhaps they're just trying to get away as fast as they can, wherever they can.
And you can see how different the situation is here. The road, Susie, a little darker, right? We don't see a well-lit road here. It's a little more desolate here, not a lot of traffic. So dangerous, especially if someone who is going at very high rates of speed. I mean, is this still pretty accurate, Mike, when you're looking at the speedometer there from SkyCal? I mean, yeah, it's kind of bouncing around, but still, that truck is still going really fast.
It is still going really fast. We're offset a little bit from where the car is, and so that always throws our speedometer off. But I can tell when I'm looking at the police helicopter that is still overhead. They are at still about those speeds. So we may be dealing with some airspace issues.
So it sounds like there's no units behind it.
Yeah, I mean, we are still going very, very quick right now as this kind of pushes through. And we talked about the pit maneuvers and the potential of would they do a pit maneuver on this? It's dangerous. Yes, it's dangerous, but also, we saw, this is several years ago, but if you remember, DJ Marshmallow had his truck stolen. It was much bigger than this. It was a much more lifted truck. But I remember a little Crown Victoria from the Sheriff's Department tried and just basically bounced off the tires. It really didn't even have much of an effect. So I don't know that that would be the case in this scenario, because this truck certainly is not nearly as large as the other one was, but it's still blacked out, Des, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Desmond's noticing the lights are off.
Yeah, the lights. Yeah, the lights are out, and
so I got some units in front of me.
It's going really fast here, and we're just having some issues here because we're kind of compressed with the clouds, and so now we have to kind of give a little bit of horizontal room to the law enforcement ships here that are trying to follow this. They're down pretty low as they make it looks like an eastbound turn here onto Garvey, so that's why our shot was getting a little farther away. We're going to see if we can try to catch back up here if the weather will improve. But so out on Garvey Avenue here, another kind of major street. We're through the Whittier Narrows area, and kind of in the vicinity of Montebello, I believe. But yeah, I mean, now we've got the lights out as well. In addition to all this, I mean, the speeds, and let's see if we can get the speedometer back. It looks like, well, yeah, the speeds of, I mean, look at this. He's going right through a red light with no lights on in a black truck. I mean, just so terrifying for people out here, even though the speeds have slowed down a little bit, but still, way too fast for surface.
I've not been with this person for a very long time. We looked it up. We first heard about it just at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock, and by the time we got to it, they were already, like we were talking about in the San Gabriel Valley, they started in the San Fernando Valley, and they've been driving so fast, it was hard for us to even get to it. And they just continue to drive like this, lights off. You can see their brake lights ever so often, but they have been driving so recklessly, even on the surface Route 1.
Yeah, it's incredible. We only get a chance to see him when he does tap his brakes, and you can see where he's going. Still, the lights are off at this time. And I'm guessing, Mike, he's thinking perhaps this would deter law enforcement from above. Maybe they might not see him, just like we're having a tough time seeing him.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's in a black truck, it's nighttime, and if he turns his lights off, maybe he thinks that's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to spot him as we just continue to fly down these streets, which brings up, we're getting a lot of text to the desk on this one. I want to show you something that a viewer commented on that they just texted us. This is Dustin, who actually is watching us from Wichita, Kansas. So CHP needs to get back on. This guy is clearly not slowing down. They need to put an end to this before he kills someone. And that is the risk versus reward that law enforcement has to decide on every single time we have one of these chases. And at this point, CHP believed it was more dangerous for them to chase him, especially going through the construction zone there, than it was to just kind of let him be. But, to his point, clearly, that isn't working either. This guy is still driving the way he's driving, but CHP has decided that that's not the risk they want to take. They don't want to agitate him even more, especially when, for now, they can follow him from the desk. There's a number on the screen, 818-223. 221-2222. If you've got questions or comments on this chase, we're happy to try to answer them to the best that we can as we continue to watch this guy. And again, we're dealing with some cloud issues here as well, so that's why our shot's a little further off. But look, it is dark down there. You've got some street lights, you guys, but he's blacked out, and cars coming up from behind him probably aren't even seeing him until it's right there.
And you kind of wonder, Mike, since this started right around the 5 and the 170, now he's here all the way in the San Gabriel Valley, quite a distance away. Like, where was this truck stolen from? When did it first ping? It's coming back stolen. And yet again, just the incredible amount of distance this driver has covered in a short amount of time. It seems that he's going so fast, it's not a surprise that he's covering so much ground.
It's not at all, and thanks, Cal, for bringing my mic back up. I'm actually going to give it back to you guys for just a second. I want to call LAPD Foothill Station, where this started, and see if they'll give me some of that information. So let me do that really quick, and I'll get right back to you.
Okay, we'll get back to you in just a second, Mike. Let's go back up to Desmond Shaw. Des, right now you're still following up with this pursuit here. Mike was saying that there could be some cloud issues.
147 RD 1258.
Yeah, it's not so low that we can't get through, but the problem is that we can't really get above law enforcement like we usually do. So we're having to kind of give them a more lateral space right now. So we're not able to be like as directly overhead right now. But look, I mean, we're still at 70 miles an hour. The lights are off. Santa Anita Avenue, obviously a very busy street here as we're making our way towards Arcadia. We've already crossed the 60 and the 10. We're going to be up towards the 210 here. Well, now he makes that turn here onto Hondo Parkway, so that's going to divert us away from the 210 freeway. And yeah, what is the play for the suspect right here? There hasn't been anyone. He must realize that there hasn't been anyone below him for quite some time. All right, and we're really having trouble here with the truck. I think he's making a southbound turn. Yeah, and we could get the spotlight back from. You see it right there. They're kind of flashing it on and off, and I think they're kind of trying really hard not to, intimidate or agitate the suspect. But now we're, in like a residential area here where these streets might not go through all the way. There we go. We have a little bit of the spotlight right now, but black vehicle, dark streets, no lights on, 50 miles an hour here. If someone's out here walking their dog late at night or out for a bike ride or whatever, she's just driving around aimlessly. How does this not end in a crash like this? I think the lights, I think he drove into a cul-de-sac here. Yep, this is what I was thinking. Okay, vehicle stopped. Let's just hope that he gets out and runs right now.
He's backing up.
No, he's reversing. Yeah, reversing and continuing. We really would have loved to have just seen the suspect get out and end this super dangerous situation. But yeah, and you can see just how much space they have right now with no units behind them on the ground. Just that spotlight overhead here, but small surface streets here on kind of in the Arcadia area. I mean, 75 miles an hour, just absolute insanity.
Really, as Desmond was just talking about, what is the end game here? Is he planning to perhaps pull over right now and get out? Perhaps, and why here, right? Are they out?
Well, I think
he's backing up.
No, I couldn't tell what they were doing there. Like, it almost looked. We have to go. You guys have to go back and look. I don't know if it was a shadow or if they dropped someone off there, or
that's what I was wondering too.
What just happened, but it almost looked like someone else might have gotten out.
Is he going back to the cul-de-sac?
They canceled this pursuit on the ground, but continuing to track him from the air.
But I think he kind of got himself into a little bit of a maze.
Northbound 2nd Avenue, coming into Arcadia here in the next mile or so. Get a better glimpse of him here as he starts to pick up more speed here. Still doing about double the speed limit up 2nd Avenue. Really very little traffic out here this evening. You can see not a lot of cars to contend with. He's continuing to blow through red lights though at a pretty fast clip without even braking, hardly any braking, as he sped through that last intersection here, continuing northbound 2nd Avenue into Arcadia, now coming up on the 210 freeway shortly.
No further. To 13050, yes, for 13030, watch 2.
Northbound 2nd Avenue through Huntington Drive, continuing northbound here through Arcadia. The 210 freeway is about 2 or 3 more traffic lights, but it looks like he's deciding to make a turn here, making a right turn. It's going to be eastbound Santa Clara Street.
5-1. You still need a foothill unit to respond? We're canceling.
He's about to go, I believe, under the 210. He already went under. That was the 210 overpass there. Now making a northbound turn away from the freeway. Still completely blacked out, and it's dark out here. You can see him still speeding up Monterey Avenue here towards Colorado Boulevard, again heading away from the freeway towards the foothills. Kind of all these turns appear to be very, very random.
Dude's going up in them hills.
And it looks like the vehicle's come to a stop, making another U-turn.
Like if he keeps going north, he's gonna end up going into the mountains. I mean, he's already in the foothills, but if he keeps going, he's gonna end up going into the mountains. And I've seen dudes get
Now
away.
heading
All you
back
gotta do is
eastbound
run
Colorado
into the hills.
Boulevard.
They're not gonna chase you. They're gonna try to surround you.
Paralleling the
and then
210 freeway here, you
that's about it. The
wonder if
helicopter's
he's going to
gonna
look
try
for an
stay with you as long
opportunity
as
to
he
get back
can,
on the
but at some
freeway
point,
and
it
make
can't
his
stay
way
with you forever, and
eventually
they're not
back
gonna go
towards the
looking
city.
for
It's
you
unclear,
on foot.
highly
For a stolen vehicle in
unclear
progress.
where he
I've seen
resides
that.
or where this vehicle originates or where he is intending to go here. Really no clear destination, but we know that he picked this up in the San Fernando Valley. But right now he's heading absolutely in the opposite direction from the San Fernando Valley eastbound through the San Gabriel Valley instead. So if he's got a destination in mind, certainly it's not apparent to us. And judging from what we're hearing on the radios here, they don't seem to have a whole lot of intel on this guy either. But it also doesn't appear that they're very dedicated to this. You know, they've given it up on the ground already. They're really just tracking him from above at a safe distance to try and figure out where he ends up. But right now there is no law enforcement in place. Even if he was to come to a stop and get out of the vehicle, he would likely walk away from this without any problems. Again, LAPD abandoned this once they left the city's jurisdiction, and then California Highway Patrol just didn't like the speeds, I think, and they decided to pull back as well. They may let the local authorities know here, but LA County Sheriff likely monitoring this pursuit, but in all likelihood, they're going to track him to the end and then eventually get an address and gather whatever details they can from the helicopter before they file their paperwork here. But it doesn't look like there's any effort to bring this suspect into custody.
I think he's going to get away. Time will tell. Camera's not up, guys. Sorry. I love police chases. That's a Ford Raptor. say it's about 120 grand. And the bottom right-hand corner is Scott Lang. Scott is a very famous real-time streamer, news reporter. I've seen him do some heroic things in California. All of this can be found on YouTube. Please go out there and sub his channel. He's pretty sharp guy. Been in the business a very long time. I don't have a monitor up for the chat. So go for what you know. Be nice.
Was that Royal Oaks and Oak? Yeah, we're in the Duarte Avenue area here. He's continuing into a very heavily wooded neighborhood, making some random right turns. Not traveling terribly fast here, now pulling back onto Royal Oaks Drive. Actually on the wrong side of the road here, fixing for another right turn. Doesn't want to get caught up in another dead end. He's making a lot of U-turns for no apparent reason. For somebody who really doesn't know where they want to go, he seems to be second-guessing himself a lot. For no reason. Again, there's nobody behind him. So there's really, it's not like he's trying to escape anybody. He's just making a lot of last-minute decisions. Obviously well aware of that helicopter overhead, and that night sun is having the effect of agitating him. It's making him think twice and trying to figure out probably where he wants to hide out, whether he gives up or whether he tries to hide the vehicle somewhere else. Who knows? But it's honestly anybody's guess what's going through his mind. Again, we don't even know how many people are inside this truck. Northbound Braywood. Another dead end, another cul-de-sac. Turning around. Yep. Three-point turn, and there he is. So he's going to try and make his way probably back out of this neighborhood. He's probably going to try and stay away from these residential blocks. I mean, he's had so much opportunity to really just lay low. And he was slowing down for a little bit until that night sun was right over him. But he's really not showing any intention of stopping here. And again, there's no law enforcement around him. Whether he realizes that or not is another story. But he obviously is aware of that helicopter. Every time that night sun is pointed in his direction, we see a little bit of a change of behavior behind the wheel. Whether he speeds up or makes a random turn or whatever the case may be. Just kind of making this up as he goes along, zigzagging his way through these foothill communities. Looks like he's in a looks like an unpaved alleyway. And that's going to put him onto Lemon Avenue at the end of this. Here he comes out onto Lemon Avenue. And a left turn westbound on Lemon Avenue. CHP's helicopter still overhead. And picking up a lot more speed now, doing about 70 miles per hour on Lemon Avenue through this quiet neighborhood. California Highway Patrol now bringing in the help of the LA County Sheriff's Department. We expect that their helicopter will probably take this over or enter the scene here shortly. And you can see this, this heavy truck not handling some of these speed bumps and bumps in the road very well. He's really bouncing around. When he's traveling at these speeds, you could bet that truck is not the most comfortable ride. Another right turn, and that looks like, is that Colorado up? Colorado Boulevard, 70 miles per hour down Colorado Boulevard. Oh. Still, yeah, nobody behind him. Nobody behind him. Well, this is quite the joyride, and I think the only thing that's going to stop this guy is his gas tank. I don't think he's, I mean, who knows how much gas he started with, but I don't see him really, I don't know if he's under the influence or if he's just, out on Green Avenue.
Possible hit on MPI TV, maybe you know what the NBC.
Copy that.
KU3, Roger.
California Highway Patrol still applying pressure on this suspect. The night sun right through those trees here. I'm not sure if the vehicle's come to a stop or is he doing another U-turn. Backing up into a driveway and yet another U-turn. Is he? Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yep. He's going into the mountains now. Northbound Alta Vista Avenue. So Hillcrest ended there at Alta Vista Avenue, making a northbound turn, a right turn. That's going to send him further up into the mountains and away from our purview here. Again, there's a very low cloud ceiling here this evening. A lot of moisture in the air, very difficult to see. The California Highway Patrol helicopter is hovering right over him at probably no more than 400 feet, trying to get that night sun through the trees and keep an eye on this suspect. Very difficult work, but they are doing their level best to try and keep some kind of a visual on him. And basically doing what we're doing up here. We're staying closer to the 210 freeway where it is much safer, but you can see he's kind of traversing his way through these very upscale foothill communities right now on Alta Vista Avenue at Scenic Drive.
Dude, go find a parking structure and park that damn thing and get out. Or get out park it and get out. Well, turn your lights on. Let's just go.
Air 7 News Desk.
So it looks like the top one, Fox, is more or less giving up on the deal. KTLA is still running, and I believe the other one is Channel 2. Nice house. Dang. That's what I call a hood. Which one is valid? So this one's valid?
77 unit vandalism just occurred, 1901 West Florence Avenue.
What does Scott have to say?
Suspect is a male white, 62 years, no further description, code sensitive 5226, RD 1243.
Oh, he's coming back out, you dumbass. Must be a kid. Scott's in the area. I don't have his data. Why not?
There he goes. He just went by us.
Alright guys, this should look a lot better than it does. I'm an amateur.
So he's southbound right here. This
And we
Tesla's
lost
behind it. And so is Mr.
She's talking to him.
Oh,
I can smell Mr.
Is he
Policeman.
in
He's
front or
trying to
behind?
catch up.
Out my window or her window?
23, 3,
Copy.
9, 4, 5.
Once again, if you're just joining us on ABC7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, Chris Christie up in Air 7 as we continue to track the stolen black Ford Raptor refusing to pull over for the LAPD. Eventually, they handed it off to the California Highway Patrol along the 60 freeway in the San Gabriel Valley, all the way out to El Monte, where finally California Highway Patrol gave this pursuit up. They are now relying on that helicopter overhead to track his movements and probably eventually catch up with this suspect. Again, it is believed to be a stolen vehicle. He's driving very recklessly with his lights blacked out,
the tag is
continuing to blow through red lights and
Toyota.
stop signs, and really showing no regard for any of the traffic rules here. Fortunately, this evening we have not seen much in the way of car traffic, not a whole lot of pedestrian traffic in these residential neighborhoods at this time of the night, especially as he makes his way back towards the 210 freeway after getting lost up in the foothills near Bradbury in the Duarte area. He's kind of been bouncing around up here and traversing Colorado Boulevard, now heading southbound on Myrtle Avenue at Montana Street. Again, heading back towards the 210 freeway, where he will have the opportunity to get on the freeway at some point here. Actually, it looks like he just bypassed that opportunity. So he went under the 210 and is now continuing southbound Myrtle. Again, this all started in LAPD's Foothill Division up in the San Fernando Valley on surface streets as he crosses over the tracks here Making a left turn onto Railroad Avenue, or Duarte, I'm sorry, Duarte Road. Nope. FM1.
Love a good pursuit.
Booth, you up? Hey, Booth, I've got you. Copy that.
Sorry, guys.
A Ford Raptor.
Well, they gave up on the chase. They gave up. Yeah, they did.
Here we go. Hospital.
Go into a parking structure. Oh, there's one right there. Yeah, well, because he's got no headlights on, you idiot. Turn your headlights on, look like you're normal. Some people's children, I'm telling you. Honestly, I was working on a customer's.
Ooh, stuck at the train tracks.
Yo, start, they stopped the train. Ooh, look, there you are. Yeah, it's an off-road.
Has run afoul at this point of a train, a railroad crossing. Looks like a metro train. Let's get more from Chris Christie in Air 7. Chris.
Hey there, Mark. This guy's going on a real joyride, and really for no particular reason. Right now, there is no law enforcement on this suspect. However, it is believed to be a cold-plated vehicle that was in pursuit by the LAPD out of their Foothill Division. He led them on a high-speed chase through the San Fernando Valley, down the 170 freeway, over to the 101.
So cold-plated means that the tag doesn't match the vehicle itself, right? So the vehicle is a Ford Raptor, and it comes back to the tag. The tag itself comes back to a Toyota. So that's how they're chasing this vehicle. Now you know.
Completely dark. We don't know how many people are inside this vehicle, but again, it's a cold-plated Ford Raptor, so that plate does not match the truck. So they believe it's probably a stolen vehicle, and they decided, let's just call in the airship. They handed it off to the CHP airship, and they have been tracking him ever since. Once in a while, you will see that night sun shine the light on him, but every time they shine that night sun on this suspect, it seems to have the effect
the
of
night sun. Why they call
more
these things, I don't
driving
know.
more dangerously.
But the night sun is the spotlight,
when
right?
he doesn't have any pressure on him. There you see a glimmer of that night sun as he parallels the 210 freeway on Duarte Road. He's been bouncing around these foothill communities between Monrovia, Duarte, Bradbury, Arcadia, really with no clear destination in mind, just kind of making this up as he goes along, and every once in a while, for good measure, he will pull a random U-turn in the middle of the street. We have seen a number of those, such as the one that you saw as we came on the air at the metro tracks. He had every opportunity to just wait that train out, and look at this. For the first time in a half hour, we now have a local municipality about to engage with him once again, making the U-turn and now trying to catch up with this guy underneath the 210 freeway mark. He is now back in pursuit by one of these local agencies out here. I don't know which police department that is, but he had his lights and sirens blaring as this guy sped towards the 210, under the 210 freeway, and now we'll see if backup is on the way. But now they have a local jurisdiction pursuing this suspect, and you see just how low that CHP, is it CHP or LAPD? Now, LAPD has now taken this over again from the air. So that LAPD air support helicopter right over this suspect, no more than a couple hundred feet above him. As we
maybe that's what I'll do late night.
Relatively low cloud layer here this evening. A lot of moisture in the air, very crowded airspace up here as he continues now northbound on Lemon Avenue.
Nothing like a good car chase. I've got a bunch of them that, are they going to cut this? I've got a bunch of them I'd love to replay. I don't know if anybody's down for that or not.
A little bit. I don't want to lose him, Robbie, but if you could tell, it looks like he's still back there, but he's about a quarter mile back, not exactly doing the same speeds as the suspect, who's now kind of weaving his way through here, maybe looking for an opportunity. Now, I've got to tell you, Mark, he's had every opportunity tonight to just dump this car.
Just dump the car.
Hide out in a parking garage or just park the car. He would have gotten away with this.
Transition's not working. That's not cool. Well, I know why. Nothing to transition. I've got to get this set up better. I wasn't planning on going live. I was working on a client's box. BIOS was kicking my butt.
Back through another quiet neighborhood here where there's going to be even more dead ends, and we've already seen him pull into a number of cul-de-sacs, and he just makes the U-turn and continues the ride, and it really, you don't know whether he's under the influence or what's motivating this guy.
Back in the day, I used to watch
not any pressure coming from law
live streamers out of Bakersfield.
One
of my buddies are
this new local agency with 2 patrol cars trying to catch
a
up.
good friend.
And again, this is a vehicle that has cold
Roger,
plates.
if you
and
guys
that's
are ever
police
around during the
jargon
day
for
and really
plates
want
that
something
don't
to
match
watch,
the vehicle.
RD on the
plates
scene,
that have
or
been lifted from another car
he's just
or
a
vehicle
great
that have been
live
placed on
streamer,
this
and he
truck,
drives around
and
showing you
which
crime.
arouses, of course, immediate
It's one of the things I used to
that
sometimes have on the
itself
TV
is
just to
a criminal act, and it can
watch
be
something
used to
going
try to,
on. I've seen Roger save so many
conceal other
lives and
criminal
all
acts,
kinds
so
of things.
they want
have
to
a lot
get
of
this.
car
It could be a
chases.
stolen vehicle, could be a stolen
There's
truck.
quite
Now they're
a few still out
trying to
there,
catch.
not as many as
Where'd
there
he
used to
go?
be.
There he goes. Now, interesting, the range on this thing. You
There's
talked
quite a
earlier
few in
before we
California
came
still.
on the air about how the
There's
only
one
limit
in
to this
Oklahoma
may be
that
how
I'm
maybe
aware of.
his range, how much gas he has. Well, it's got a 36-gallon fuel tank, and it can go between 500 to 650 miles on a full tank of gas. If so, this could be a very long pursuit if that's the only way
He's
that
driving
he ends
city.
up,
I'm
giving
thinking
up
he's
by
sucking
running
down,
out of gas. But,
sucking down gas. I
what
hate when
you've
they
been
do that.
noticing is
They
that he goes into
show
these dead ends, like as you see in the video on the right from
on a
earlier,
larger screen
in the upper San Gabriel
what
Valley. He
happened
got kind of
previously,
trapped in
and
a
then on the
residential
small
neighborhood, had to
screen,
turn around.
what's
Not an
going
easy
on now?
thing.
Why don't
It's
we
a
do it the
big
other
truck.
way around?
Takes up a lot of space, hard to do. So he's made some of those maneuvers throughout this process.
Ooh, busted the gate. I
And
didn't see that
rammed
before.
through a fence, as you see there, going up that alley. That's video from about 15 minutes ago. Again, that was in the San Gabriel Valley. He's kind of been sticking to this area, but you see the speeds that he's on, that he's going now on this main street. This is Foothill Boulevard, is that correct?
Yeah, Foothill Boulevard, now 3 units behind him, including an unmarked vehicle in the middle, and now that is provoking him to really push the pedal to the metal here, doing speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour down Foothill Boulevard, blowing through red lights, closer to 90 miles per hour as he tries to create a little bit of distance and exit this jurisdiction. He picked the wrong town, and now he's trying to just kind of get away. And,
So I think this
fly
one
into the
here
night
is
here.
Sky
Again,
5.
You've got 3 units behind it, but they're going to have to
I
pull
think
back,
they're
especially
behind.
at these speeds. You can see they've already fallen back a little bit, and that's been a trend. The speeds have been extreme at
Not
times,
sure.
Mark, which is going to affect
And
his
down
gas
here is
mileage.
Scott.
I mean, at times,
Scott,
as he was
at the
making his
bottom
way out to the
right,
San Gabriel Valley on the 60
is
freeway,
on the street,
he was
and
doing
he will
in
get
excess of
the end
115
story.
miles per hour. When we
a
first
great
caught
total
wind of this
journalist.
pursuit, he was on the 170, and by the time we caught up with him, he was already in El Monte. So he traveled quite a bit of distance in a very short amount of time, and that is going to bleed a lot of fuel efficiency out of that probably best case scenario.
And guys, if I could figure out how to bring up the stream as far as text, I would.
Per hour at the very most.
But
doing,
I don't.
the speeds
So,
and
la vie.
and just gassing it the way he has, using up a lot of horsepower and just trying to, again, create distance between him and now this new package of pursuit units. I just don't know the agency involved. It might have been Duarte, it might have been somebody else, but he is now out of that jurisdiction. I don't know. It looks like they might have pulled back as well.
Desperately trying to catch a cold.
Continuing westbound Foothill Boulevard.
Westbound Foothill Boulevard. It seems like he slowed down just a little bit, which is good news. You don't want, whenever there's a traffic light here, the potential for cross traffic, of course, is there. He has blown through, like this red light he's just done right here. He's blown through quite a few of those just since we've been on the air. And the potential for a collision, it would be catastrophic for the other vehicle. This is a big, heavy pickup truck, and you certainly don't want him colliding with another vehicle. So that is something that's part of the calculus as officers decide. A sergeant or someone of rank will decide whether to continue the pursuit or whether to back off or how to continue with this. As far as we know, it's a possible stolen vehicle. We don't know for sure, but it has the wrong license plates on it, which leads us to believe, and law enforcement to believe, that it may have in fact been stolen. Unknown number of people on board this Ford Raptor that is now being pursued, we believe, by the agency that whose city he just drove through in the upper San Gabriel Valley. The good thing here, as you're seeing, the streets pretty much deserted. That's good news. The fewer people that are out, the less likelihood of a collision. And we'll continue to see.
And he is now.
Go ahead.
He is now in Pasadena, so it's a larger jurisdiction with more resources, traveling through more of these red lights, just blowing right through them. But will he get the attention of Pasadena PD? That's what I'm wondering. They also have their own airship on standby as well. So if they decide to get involved here, we may very well see them light him up here. But it almost reminds me of if our viewers have ever played Need for Speed, where you're just kind of traveling on this endless joyride through various jurisdictions, and 1 minute you're in hot pursuit, and the next minute things cool down, and you just enjoy the joyride. He's kind of been doing that all night long. You'll see flashing lights behind him 1 minute, the next minute he's just off into the night. The one thing that's been pretty consistent is the airship overhead. Whether they light him up or whether they've just been tracking him, the airship has been monitoring his movements, and that seems to be the consensus. Let the airship do the work and not put additional lives in danger at the speeds he's been traveling at, especially considering that his lights are off. The vehicle is blacked out, no headlights, no taillights. If he continues blowing through those red lights, somebody's going to get killed. In fact, he has barely even been braking.
To be honest with you, this is a pretty long pursuit.
So it's been really, heart-stopping at times, except the lucky thing is that there really has not been much traffic this evening. It's been a really, he's chosen the quiet.
See if I can find the frequency. Listen to the police.
Again, the airship has really been doing most of the work, but as you can see in this shot right here, it is a very hazy, moist night that is proving to be a little bit of a challenge, and it would not surprise me if even the airship eventually pulls off here. I'm almost surprised that they've been following him as long as they have. There have been 3 different airships, Mark, that have rotated out between LAPD, California Highway Patrol. At one point, the Sheriff's Department was on the way out here, but I think the last time we saw that night sun on him, it was indeed a new LAPD airship trying to track his movements. And as I mentioned, Pasadena most likely monitoring this as well as he comes up on the freeway here. We are in a holding pattern ourselves because it is difficult, very difficult, to see more than 100 or a couple hundred feet in front of us. So that's going to prove to be very difficult for law enforcement down below. Busy air traffic up here with a lot of helicopters trying to find this guy. And now it looks like for the time being, you can see we're quite a distance here, and it looks like he may be it may be his lucky night, although that airship still seems to be tracking something.
Yeah, we are limited, of course, by visibility, and if
They're
it
going to
gets
drop
a little foggy, a little hazy up there, especially at night, Safety is, of course, the main concern here for everyone. And so we may not be able to continue with this.
And it's their 10 o'clock news.
The question then becomes what the parameters are for that law enforcement helicopter.
They've already devoted like 15 minutes.
Not sure if it still is. We did see one earlier that is up above. And yeah, there he is. This is still Pasadena.
It looks like still Pasadena, northbound Altadena Drive. And it does sound like the airship is going to give it up. So the airship is now pulling out. He is driving away. And you can see just how pitch black it is down there. If we even catch a glimpse, it'll be through some of these trees here. But for the most part, it looks like I think he's going to get away with this one, Mark.
All right. Well, Chris Christie in Air 7. We're going to keep an eye on this, and if we re-engage, we will certainly come back to you, but it appears he has disappeared into the night, and as you said, it may have been his lucky day. We will see. Moving on to other news, of course, the attack.
Yeah, well, we're done with you.
Day 5 of the war with Iran and the deadly conflict now spreading.
Come on. You guys hear that noise? I brought in my air conditioner for my office. Let's see what we got here.
Once they back off, you see them slow down a little bit. So it appears as though at this point law enforcement is content to track this from the air. And they've got all the time and resources they need. This suspect will eventually run out of gas or lose the will to run. And either way, that will spell the end of this situation. But until then, law enforcement will continue to track this from the air. And you can believe there are units on the ground as well in the area, certainly paying attention to the location. And the potential for greater trouble
he's going to get
as
away.
you have a driver that's moving so quickly on surface streets. We haven't seen his headlights on for the better part of the last hour. He blew through a fence at one point. It looks like he took out his right headlight. So when they do go on, however brief it is, you see just the left headlight on. But he's been
that
driving
looks
in
like
the
it's the end of the show.
lights,
Yeah.
primarily.
All right. Well, we're going to keep an eye on this from Sky 5 and also from our assignment desk, and we'll let you know if anything transpires here. And again, we've been following this for the last, maybe 45 minutes or so. And at this point, no units behind
Well,
this.
you can always follow
Ford,
Scott on
Raptor
YouTube.
that came back with cold
He's
plates
a great follow.
as
Smart
he's making
guy.
his way through this
Got some
community.
great
If you are in these
footage.
communities that he's been
And,
through, please be
I am going
mindful.
back to working
if
on
you do
my
hear those
client.
helicopters, make sure that you're keeping your family safe and that everything.
So you guys enjoy the evening, and if another one breaks off, or if I see something interesting, yep, they're done. Yeah. All right, boys and girls, I am out of here. We will catch you on the next one. Careful what you click on. We'll see you.